We're premiering. Come on in the room, everybody.
Hey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. Hey, girl, you looking real cute.
Might as well
Thank
do it
you.
up for the first show.
Might as well. All right, hey, peeps. Let's see. I'm waving at people. I don't know if I can make you a
Hello.
call. Can you see people as they join?
Yeah, I can see him coming in.
Okay, great. All right, everyone, welcome. We're going to start around 6:05. So come in. Make sure you share with your peoples.
Hey, Autumn, love that love.
Yes, hey. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Okay. Live is just so new these days.
I know they've done all these different updates and everything.
Yes. If you're just joining us, we're starting at 6:05. So come on. Send it to your peoples. Let them know we're live. We're taking up space this evening.
Yes.
Yes, all the good stuff. I'm going to set my candle while we wait. You know I always got to have my candle.
Like I have the placement ready.
You know, a little bit. Set the vibes. We're taking up space this evening. All right.
Hey, Shar. I'm hoping everybody had a good holiday break.
Yes. Back to reality tomorrow.
Work starts tomorrow.
I know. Hey, everybody. Let's see. I don't know. If y'all dropped in, say hi. Let us know that you're in the building or in the space, I should say. Let us know you're in the space. We're going to start in like 3 minutes. Let's see. Can you hear the music?
I can hear music.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to like 1 more minute. I don't want Instagram cutting us off or nothing.
No, it's very relaxing.
Oh, great. I'm glad. Your face looks good, girl.
Thanks. You know, it's like, let me actually come on here for the people and
give them a little something.
Do a little something.
You know, hello, Erica. Hello, Mr. Royal C. Nice for you to join us.
Girl.
We're starting in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Share out. Invite your people. I don't know if I can. Oh, I can't actually. I'm just like literally sending it to everybody. All right. I'm going to turn this down. Hello, Chauncey. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Yes, join us for the combo.
Yes. All right. We have 5. Okay. Send it to y'all people. If you push the little arrow, y'all can invite people to join. So yeah. I encourage you all to do that while we wait for another 2 minutes.
We appreciate y'all for coming out for our first one.
We do. Super excited. Nervous, not gonna lie. But you know.
It's just a conversation.
Huh?
I say it's just a conversation.
You know. With people looking at us. But it's all good.
I know.
Hey Linda. Hugh, we're getting started in 1 minute. All right. Hey, Lisa girl. If y'all could just send it out to people, let them know we on, taking up space. Hey, Melinda. Good for you to join us. We're getting started in 1 minute, so send to your peoples. Okay, and let us know. Y'all talk to us. Say hi, something. Let us know y'all here.
Interact a little bit.
Right. This is our space, okay? Not just me and Joyce, but our space. If you're on watching us, this is also your space. So take it up with us. We would appreciate that. And that's what it's created for, right?
100%.
Hello. All right. It's 6:05. I guess we'll get started. Hey, Fashion Peacock. Hey, Rachel. All right, great. So we got a little crowd. All right, guys. Welcome. Hey, Jen. Hey, sis. Welcome to Take Up Space, a new digital talk show hosted by myself, Lauren Boone, and
Joy Lawson. Welcome to our
yes,
first episode.
yes, first episode of Taking Up Space. This is a space for us to share as we process things that we must heal from, things that we want to process, things that we want to share, own, and ultimately feel loved and supported through. So this is a space for all of us to do that, to take up space. All right, and I'm excited.
Super excited for today.
Yeah.
So while we wait, I do ask that you all put in the comments something that you are owning and taking up space for. This will help us. Obviously, like, we're the ones that are talking, but we want to make sure that we're interacting with you. So please go ahead and comment and let us know some of the things that you're taking up space on that maybe you have been thinking about over this holiday break.
Yes, we want to know. So think about it. It doesn't have to be something super deep. It could be something that's like, oh, I'm trying to figure out my schedule for next week. Or it could be, I'm trying to process the death of whoever, right? Like my artist development. Thank you.
Yes, Julia, you were singing at church today. Let me just say.
Okay. Say, sis, we're going to bring you on to sing, okay? Listen, that's a part of our topic this evening, right? We'll get to it. But just to share like the reasoning behind, hold on, because I think the music is still playing, y'all. Okay. I don't want to get cut off. The reason behind taking up space is kind of already touched on it, but it's really just to carve out space in the social media world for not only being entertained, but like processing things that we go through. We can't just always consume, and then not have a place to really process it with the same people that we are consuming this information or this like our lived experiences with, right? So we are creating this space for us, by us, to really process the things that we go through, whether it's on digital spaces, whether it is a lived experience that we have, something that we don't necessarily want to talk to family or friends about, but places that, people that we don't necessarily know, we don't feel judged by, but we can just honestly say what's on our mind. And hopefully from that, we can build a community where, our mental health is on display. Our faith is not hidden. Like this is something like it helps us. It's something that allows us to it helps us to process. Let me just say that. So yeah, we're just glad that you are here. And hopefully you feel inspired or encouraged at some point throughout this conversation and throughout the talk show series to communicate and to share with us and to own whatever it is that you feel like you have to own. So I really thank you, Cuban Dream. Don't know your name. Hopefully you'll put in the comments for starting us off about your music journey and your artist development, how you're trying to own that. And so this is a space for you to come on live with us. We don't want to just be talking to y'all through the comments. We want to bring people on, have guests and all that good stuff. So yes. I'm not trying to, Joy, do you have anything to say? I'm like,
oh no, I'm just excited.
Rambling.
To talk about it.
Hey, Julia.
Julia, we will definitely be getting you on at some point to talk about your music development and music journey. But I'm just excited for everyone that is on here. I know it's a Sunday, and I know you all could be doing a lot of other things. So just to be present with us as we take up space and just talk about different things that we're all dealing with. It's appreciated.
Yes. So we follow a framework here on Take Up Space where we have different segments. All are kind of like things that spell out love, because at the end of the day, that's what we all need to feel the support and encouragement to share, own, and heal. So our first segment is the Let Loose. So this is something, or the space where we talk about a joy factor from the week or the day or the last hour, last 30 minutes, whatever has brought you joy, made you laugh, made you feel loved, made you feel supported, understood. This is the space or the time to share that. And so, Joy, I'm gonna let you start because I feel like I'm a talking girl.
I'll start it off. I have a couple. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving week, so my husband and I, we went down to Georgia to visit his family, and it was our first Thanksgiving like traveling and going and visiting them, and just really being around family in a different state hits different. And I did some like fun dancing with my mother-in-law, like teaching her. She wanted to learn the cuffit dance. Yes. So that was fun. And then just random date nights, playing a classic game of Heads Up with my husband for date night was one of like the highlights. So yeah, and the last one is honestly this moment. I know that Lauren and I met randomly on our lovely Founders Day.
Yes.
And ever since a relationship has been built between us, and it's really been built off of conversations. So definitely happy about our relationship as we've continued to grow and create a space like this.
Yes, same. Well, thank you for sharing. And as we're sharing, we will also love to hear your joy factor. So really this is literally a space for you really to think and process things that make you happy, sad, some got to heal from. So we really want you to engage in these segments that we have. So my joy factor, I would say, was one just spending like quality time with people I love, whether it was with family, you know, interest that I have, you know, so that has really been great. Like just to be able to spend quality time, uninterrupted time with those people. And then to see Black Panther, like Wakanda Forever. Hey, everyone who's joining us. That was literally, I was on a high from that. While it did make me consider like the grief I have been experiencing, because it's so heavy with grieving and death. It still was a joy factor because it was just amazing to see our people represented in that way, culture represented in that way. It made me want to go and research things, thought about like ancestral veneration, like all of that. So that has definitely made me feel seen and heard and loved. So those are my two joy factors for the past week or two, I'll say.
We have one that a love factor that was, or joy moment that was shared.
Okay.
The day I looked over at my son in the passenger seat, and I truly admired the young man I brought into this world. We were driving from his haircut, and I felt so blessed. Oh, that's so beautiful.
That is beautiful. Wait, I'm trying to see. Is this Monique? I think so. Monique, if that's you, holla at me. But that is awesome. That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Just have that moment, like I created you, and I'm proud of you. Like that's amazing.
Soak it up. I know time flies, so just to sit in that. Does anyone else have any moments of joy moments?
Yes. Oh my gosh, Monique, how old is your son now? And I knew that was you. Your name's so backwards with threes. I see you, girl. But yeah. So, anyone else want to share before we move on? This is our like juicy segment. Oh, he's 7. Wow. Oh, girl, real Black mama moment. She like, wait, 8. Hello. Okay, so I guess we'll move on. If no one else has a joy factor that they would like to share, if you're just joining us,
we have
welcome.
One that came in.
Okay.
Is life. That is very true. I know this holiday seasons can be very hard, especially from losing family members and just like remembering them. So we definitely all need to be thankful for life in general, because it truly is a blessing. Every day we get to wake up, it is our first Thanksgiving of the day.
Literally every day. And I hope she doesn't mind if I shared this, but that's my cousin who just shared that that joy factor. And maybe like, I don't know, maybe how long has it been? Maybe a month at this point. Or maybe a month ago, she had a heart attack.
Okay.
Yes, very young woman in her 40s had a heart attack, and so we are just like thankful to God that she is with us right now, because it could have been a
recovery
story. Yes, so I'm grateful for your life as well, May. So yes, definitely in our prayers continually. All right, so we're moving ahead to our Owning It segment. So y'all, this is where we get juicy. This is where we're gonna have a conversation about
34 days.
Yeah, 34 days. Girl, I see. And she be keeping her numbers, okay? Happy recovery. I know that's right. 34 days. So yeah, that's about a month and 4 days. So Joy, I'll let you introduce us to our topic this evening of what we're owning.
What we're owning. Okay, so it's a common topic that we can all relate to, but pushing ourselves to be authentic is our owning it topic for this evening. We selected this specifically because obviously it's the first one, but it's relatable for everyone. We all have something that we are owning and trying to be authentic in. It may be small, it may be big, but it's important that you're trying and you're doing.
Yes.
So I guess I'll go ahead and start off.
Go ahead.
For the pushing ourselves into our authentic selves. So if you've been following my journey, I've been an entrepreneur, had my own business, and then recently last year I ended up kind of really throwing people off with saying that I was going to end up closing it after 7 years. I never really went into too much detail with it, but it was purely faith-based. And so for myself, pushing myself to be authentic has been being at the center of everything that I'm doing, driving in my faith base so that God is moving me in all directions that I'm being called into, even if it is uncomfortable. And the business was definitely the most uncomfortable to let go because of the fact that it was so much of me. But because of that, I had to let it go. And in that, so much else has happened. I ended up leaving my previous job that I was at for 4 years. And I remember having a conversation with one of my mentors there. And I was telling him, like, I'm being called somewhere else. I already know that I have this position. And he was like, you're really bold for bringing up God in a conversation. And I was like, huh? Like, very thrown off. And it wasn't like in a negative way that he was saying it. He was really admiring the fact that I've done it. If I was to rewind at least 3 or 4 years, that wouldn't have been the situation. I've slowly been walking within that. And I still remember from my first client that I ended up speaking about with faith. And she solely told me that she picked me because of the fact that I brought up faith. And I know in our culture, it's a little nervous when you see on social media, you don't see a lot happening. Like, we can post quotes, we can post all these verses and everything. But when you see someone necessarily praying, it's like, why are you doing this? Like, you can do that in private. But why does it have to be private? So I also battled with that myself. And if you go on my page now, you see I post prayers, praying with my husband. And while I was posting it, I was having those questions of, why am I doing this? Is this something that I should be doing? Is this something that's private? And I specifically heard God tell me, well, if I'm blessing you in public, why are you keeping me in private? And I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, then I need to make sure that I'm walking in my authentic self. And that's in everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm seeing. So when you talk to me, when you hear from me, when you see my business, when you see whatever is around me, you're going to hear me thank God in the midst of it, because that's what's gotten me to this point. And it took a long time, and it may sound very crazy to say, but sometimes you can get shamed for that. And it takes a long time for you to get comfortable in your skin. So for me, I'm walking in my authentic self by making sure that I put God at the core of everything that I'm doing, no matter how it may look to the culture. So that is
yes. And you have been owning it, I will say. You have been owning it since like the first day we met, the conversations that we had, even like answering the call to like my on the Instagram story, like you being one of the people to reach out and be like, yeah, I'm down, I'm interested to hear, and like literally being the only one out of maybe 6 to stick with it. Like it's definitely, you can see that you're definitely growing in that area. And even how like the conversation evolved from like that one post to where we are now. It's just, it's God. And like, we always gonna give God big ups around here. So thank you for it. So thank you for sharing. Yes, we see in the comments, like, I love vulnerability. Yes, that's all the space is getting comfortable with that, being comfortable with being vulnerable. Just so, you know, you can free yourself from any shame. Oh, that came up today too in a conversation. But okay, so as you can see, I'm going to share in a minute, but we want to hear from y'all. So it's about 11 of y'all on here. Let's have some conversation. Let's all push in and feel this vulnerable moment that is being created for us in this space. Let's take it up.
Drop it in the comments.
Yeah, put it in the comments. What are you owning? What is something that you're pushing yourself to be more authentic in, to share more of? Or maybe to heal from, maybe to love more on, whatever it is that you're doing in this moment to feel more authentic in yourself. Let us know, because we want to talk about it. Okay, so for me, this
Give it
is
to
a
us, Lauren.
Girl, I'm trying to see where to start, but I think what I'm owning as far as my authenticity is concerned is not having to fit into like this cookie cutter what's the word? Like this cookie cutter image that people perceive me to fit into because of I'm a minister, I'm a young lady, you know, I'm a feminine person. Like I love being a woman. Like, and you're going to know that. You're going to know, like, yes, I love to dance. Yes, I love to have fun. Yes, I like to look good, but I also love God at the same time. And none of that discounts, you know, my relationship with God or how I show up in this world as far as treating people with kindness, doing ministry work. It might not look like, and I think this is really what I'm wrestling with and owning is how to do ministry as myself, like how to do ministry as God has created me, not how other people are trying to mold me, but really to be authentic. In this is something that God has called me to do, and you got to expect that I'm going to show up. Lauren Elizabeth Boone is going to show up regardless of the situation, regardless of the setting and environment. I'm going to be who God called me to be in this space. And so me just feeling confident and I don't want to say bold enough because I feel like I'm bold, but it's a difference when you're like literally the only man standing out, and that's your fight or like your cross to bear in that space. And so I'm really trying to feel comfortable, I should say, not necessarily confident, feel comfortable in this is my cross to bear, and no one else is going to have the answers for me. I have to be the one to get the answers. I have to be the one to stand tall in the face of, you know, people not agreeing with how I do ministry or how I show up in ministry, like church or spaces that's supposed to look a certain way. And so I'm dealing with that. That is something that I'm really trying to own and really listen to God about my next decision and my next move and how I do ministry and all that good stuff. So that's what y'all don't understand. Like, I'm fighting back tears over here because I have been for the last 4 months. Like, this has been something that I've been really struggling with and trying to find an answer to, but it just hasn't come to me yet. But I know I got to do something. An answer has to be given in some capacity. So it's just like, don't rush it, but don't ignore it either. Like we got to push through this. So that's what I'm owning in my push to be more authentic. That's what I'm owning.
And you are absolutely doing it. I mean, as you sat up here and said, for me, based on our conversations, like I've continuously learned about you and how you are showing up in your true self and everything that you're doing. And there honestly really is such a light about you from when we met to like how just it's natural conversation that ends up coming from the genuine connection that we both have in faith. But at the same exact time, we want to have fun too. Like we want to make sure that we're enjoying fellowship within this community and really listening to how God is directing us. But we both know that we're not supposed to do it alone. We know that we're supposed to do it together. And in that, I also feel like you get answers because things that I've shared with you, we've been talking about, and it's come out in different ways. And it's just like, okay, wow. Like when you surround yourself with like-minded people, as we've always heard, but I feel like it's really different when it's not just like-minded, but it's also that faith base that goes along with it, because it's not just the accountability, but somebody that truly understands what you're going through. So I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you. I'm proud of you too. I'm proud of us because listen, y'all, that was a conversation. Well, we met in January, so the top of this year. I think it was February or in March where we kind of like connected on the idea of like bringing this to life. And look, now we should just say December, but November.
It is.
And it's manifested. Like, yes, this is the manifestation of like, I think God in the midst of all of this, us wanting to see something new in the space that we all occupy in this digital world, social media frenzy. So yeah, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you too.
Oh, you already know.
Yeah. Alrighty. So Melinda says, yeah, go ahead.
So that my gift/purpose shouldn't be in the background, even though I like to play the background. 100%. That is very real.
Yes. Melinda, do you want to come on and talk a little bit more about that? Because what you mean with, even though you like to play the background? What's up with that? How are you owning that? How are you pushing yourself to not stay in the background? That's the question. How are you owning but keeping yourself in the background?
So we have another one. Making time for myself and my artistry, not just using my gifts for others.
That's a word. And let me tell you, I'm sorry, she probably gonna get on me for this, but my mama just joined. Hey, mom. And I think she needs to hear that because literally my mom is the Olivia Pope of church life. Like she makes things happen for people and their ministry and their business. And
Mm-hmm.
for the last year and a half, I'm proud of her because she has been putting that energy into her own business. And so I think you just entered at the right time, like making time for your artistry and your gifts for yourself and what your goals are. So, hey, mom.
Hey, Mama Boone.
Okay, and so come on, Olivia Pope. No,
Yes.
she really, really is. Okay, is there anything else anyone else is owning, or is there someone that wants to come on and talk about it? Don't forget to pour into yourself. Have to pour into yourself. I tell people this all the time because if you have nothing to give others, I mean, give yourself, what are you going to give others? Like, it's going to be the bare minimum. It's not going to be something that's going to be enriching for them, something that's going to give them life. If you are drained and you don't feel supported or at your best, so always pour into yourself before you even pour into others.
Yeah, I think that's also for I'll come on for Joy. Thanks, Julia.
No,
um,
that's that support.
I know. I think that it's also with the just us having take up space. Like we create this space also for an outlet. Some people may not think of it as self-care when you're just letting it out how you're feeling, but in reality that's one way of letting it go. If you have to write it down, if you have to talk about it,
Yeah,
text it, whatever it may be, you're keeping the conversation outside of your head, and that allows for you to empty everything that how you've been feeling. So super important.
exactly. Because I always tell people this: you have to release it. Like if it's in your body, if it's in your mind, well, first your body's gonna let you know when you need to release something. It's gonna be some type of thing that's not gonna leave. It's gonna be in your chest, your mind. It's gonna be somewhere, and it's going to make you feel it physically to the point where you have to release it, whether it's verbally, whether it's, emotionally, if you're crying, if you're working out, like somatic experiences, like you're literally going to have to release whatever it is. And talking is the best way because it helps you to process and helps you to understand what you're going through and what is happening to you. So that's why these types of conversations are always needed. Whether if you're just talking to a loved one, a friend, whoever it may be, like pushing yourself to be even vulnerable in those situations, like everything not fine. And I'm pushing myself in this regard too. When someone say, "Oh, how you doing?" You're like, "Oh, I'm good." Or "How was this?" "Oh, it was good." Like, no, what was good about it? Like, what about that experience did you like or did you enjoy? Because that's so broad. It doesn't explain everything that you've just experienced. So, like, what was good about it? Pushing people to really think about the experiences that they're having is always
It's important.
It's important. It's good for your well-being.
Yes. Did we want to bring on one or two real quick? Just to talk about that?
Let's bring on Julie and Melinda if they still on.
I think you have to end up doing it because I don't see it.
Okay. Let me request y'all then. So let's see. And Julie is the Cuban Dream. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I invited y'all. Oh, there she go.
Hello.
Y'all give me grace. Give me grace.
Girl, we will give you grace, girl. Sunday.
Grace.
All around.
The Sabbath.
Right.
Let me get myself together. Okay.
Enjoy yourself. Okay, so we're gonna start with Melinda. Melinda, if you could just share what you're owning for the people who are joining, and just talk about that a little bit more. And for the people who are joining, we welcome to take up space, a space for us to process things in a moment, things we must own, heal, love, about ourselves, for ourselves. We are in the own it section of our talk show. So we have two guests on, Melinda and Julia, who are going to just share with us a little bit about what they're owning. So Melinda and then Julia.
Well, I'm owning, like I said in the comments, that my gift isn't supposed to be in the background, even though I like to play the background. I have discussed before that I have felt all my life that I was born as a support puppy. I've always been the support from family to friends. And I like playing the background. I like giving people my ideas and just let them run with it. But during this season, God is saying it's not supposed to be in the background. Even though he has showed me over a number of years, it's never supposed to be in the background. But I keep shrinking myself back because I am different. Ministry does look different for me. And I'm okay with that now. but it took me some time to get here. And with the heart attack, I really can't say no now. Like, God
Yeah.
saved my life. So I
Yeah.
really can't say no. Because I know that my gift and my purpose is also going to save another's life.
Amen.
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 So it's like not neglecting your story, even in the mix of like what's happening to you or how you feel about like the ministry space that you occupy.
Yeah, I can no longer neglect myself in the ministry space, because like I said, just with telling my story, so many people have reached out to me, and the story will save a life. It has saved a life. And it will continue to save a life. So I know that this is it. No more background for me.
Yes, no more background. You got
No
to get
more background.
character energy, Joy.
Yes, it's time to use that voice. I feel like in situations we go through things so that it's like a wake up call for us. Like, we've had all the tools. All we have to do is actually do it. So I feel like now the spotlight is on you. Like, we ready. We waiting.
Right.
Energy. Okay. Thanks, Melinda. Julie.
Thank you, Melinda.
Oh, well, hey, Joy.
Oh,
I know Joy from like what, high school?
awesome.
Been way back. But I think for me, first of all, both of your stories resonate so much just about like being young women in ministry and like being open about your relationship with God. I think our generation as a whole, we all went through that a little bit, because I think our faith and our expression of faith and our expression of ministry looks very different than our parents.
Yeah.
And I think we are choosing to follow God in a different way than, sorry, because I feel like it's about to open. We're choosing to follow God in a different way, in a different space. And yeah, I knew it. The door was about to open. Sorry, y'all. LOL.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. And I said that to myself. I was like, watch this door open. Like, we're choosing to follow God in like a different way, in a different space. And it's just nice to hear other women that are being open about their faith and they're just being unapologetically Christian. But for me, I have just been really focused on like my music and my artistry, and like me focusing on my music. And like a little bit of background, this past summer I was able to perform in Something in the Water.
Oh, right.
Right, like I'm
That's
a little
huge.
famous. But it was like after that, I just remember walking off the stage, and I just remember being like, this is it. I could do this for the rest of my life. But realizing that I wasn't taking the time to make space in my life to get myself where I need to be to do that for the rest of my life. And so I think like in like getting more aligned with my faith, it was also getting to myself and God being like, okay, if you say these are things you want to do, you have to make time for it, and you have to create that time for it, and you have to be diligent in doing the things that you need to do. And so like I've definitely over the past few months, like I started my artist page. I've been getting my artist development training with my mentor. I even like got back on the piano. I was super excited about that. I know like the song is gonna be my party trick for like the next couple of months. But just I think what all of everyone is saying is really just tying back into like listening to God, listening to yourself, and being obedient to what he's telling you. And I think we all get these itches, we get these feelings where it's like, I gotta do this, like it's jumping up out of me. And when you get that, you have to listen to it, because I feel like also when you get those moments, God then creates the space, the time, the opportunity, but it's in that window. And if you don't listen in that moment, you may miss the resources that he's providing you to go forth and do the things that you need to do, because you're trying to do it on your time when it's ultimately his time. He may make us aware of the timing, but it's him, and how he wants us to move. So it's just so funny that like all this is lined up, because I've just been saying to even today, Joy, right? Like of me singing in church, it's something that I've been doing, but at the level that Zion allows us to do it, and like the level of excellence that they operate with, pushes me in my own personal. So it's just, you know, it's been a really exciting few months, and I'm very excited to see how I'm taking this mentality into the new year to just be bigger and bolder and better in my calling and what I believe that I should be doing, but also just continuing to be more obedient to when God is speaking to me to move in certain ways.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing, Julia. I felt
Yes,
like I was
thank you.
smiling extremely hard just listening to your journey and knowing everything that you've been going through and just growing through, honestly. And again, that's what Take Up Space is all about. While Lauren and I wanted to create this space so that we could have, you know, you all come on and tell your stories that's relatable to everyone. So.
Right. And it's not like we're trying to meet a standard or that they're, and you mentioned something, Julia, that I kind of want to touch on. Like the level that some or like organization or some institution allows us to operate at, that right there for me is where I get halted, because I'm like, I am a free individual. While I love God, I'm a Christian, I'm definitely unorthodox in the practices that I follow and the values that I have, as opposed to what the institution opposes. And so that's why I'm like, what can I do in ministry where I can be authentically myself? Because I don't see it in the spaces that once felt like home, once felt like you know, a safe place. Like it just doesn't align anymore. And so like, while that is so troubling for me, because it's like you're grieving something, but you're also excited about what's new to come. It's like, where can I operate? And I think this is just so, this moment is divine, because I go back to like, if you build it, they will come, right?
Yeah.
It's two or three are gathered. Like, it's just, it's there. Like the material is there. We just have to, or the ground is ready. We just have to start tilling it. We just have to start like really planting the seeds and doing the work to really cultivate what it is that we want to see and how we want to invite people into spaces like this. And so I thank you for bringing that up, because it really just made something more like, it just hit a little different hearing somebody else say it. So
Can I say something?
Of course.
Yes.
Sometimes we think because we're different, we have to leave a space.
You were,
But we don't necessarily have to leave a space.
That's true.
Sometimes God plants you there to encourage somebody else to stand up, because while you're saying it, they're thinking it.
That's true.
So you don't have to leave a space. You can till the ground that you're on. Doesn't mean that you can't do your own thing, but we don't have to leave these spaces. We have been.
You go into spaces where you don't feel loved or you don't feel safe. Then what? I'm supposed to be.
But look at the life of Jesus. Did he always feel loved everywhere he was? No, he didn't. He didn't. He was there. We forget that Jesus was a radical. He didn't play by the rules.
no.
He did not play by the rules, even though we're taught like, oh, he was peace and he was love. Yes, he was those things, but he was a radical first.
But God also didn't stay. I mean, Jesus didn't stay in one place.
Right. He didn't stay in one place. But when he was planted at a place, he did what he had to do for that.
Yeah. Until he had to move on to the next one.
Yeah. So now you just got to think about, okay, well, you got to really listen. Like, okay, is God telling me to move? Is God telling me to stay? That's where I'm at right now.
Yes, you do.
I'm screaming.
And I always
you got fans
who have like this unorthodox kind of thing that we do. Do it. Keep doing it until God tells you to stop.
Yep.
Because he's the ultimate boss.
Can I add just a little? Because I think sometimes God also puts you in places to create the space that's not there.
Yeah.
That when I think about this next generation of Christians, we are here to build out the church as it's never been seen before. A lot of us came and have experienced church from traditional spaces. Church that I grew up in, while it gave me a lot of my foundational upbringing, I did experience hurt in that space and how things were handled in some very like archaic thinking, right? And so I found a place and a home that allowed me to have that freedom. But I think this might be a sitting season for you where you sit and say, am I planted somewhere that neat? Because like you walking away from that space, it not only to your cousin's point of like standing up, but like, what if you are put in these spaces to create the form of ministry that people are seeking? Like when my pastor created Zion, it was for the unchurched. It was for the unconventional people. Yeah. Like we don't just chill and wear cute clothes and like come in sweats and hoodies because He wants to be trendy. He wanted people to feel comfortable to come and be with God, because at the end of the day, when we all get to see Jesus, none of how we presented ourselves in the physical realm matters. It's our spirit and our heart and who
That
we were.
part. That part.
Right?
Yep.
Create a space.
Yes.
People who thrive for God didn't have to get dressed up and didn't have to feel the
Yep.
pomp and circumstance of it all, but could come lay themselves at the feet of Jesus and give.
Mhm.
So when I hear you speaking, I'm hearing that there's a ministry that needs to be created in the space that you once left, not because you didn't feel it, but you may have been sent there to create the very space you crave.
Yes.
With other people that don't have the skills that you have and don't have the divine intervention to listen to God and take heed that you have,
Mhm.
that you to, build that space. I think this is one of those spaces, but it's on my heart to encourage you to sit. And this could be an uncomfortable pruning season for you, but the work that you do could light the lamp for many others and bring so many people who need the type of ministry and the type of word that, like, God would not have made you a minister if he did not want you to speak his word and speak.
Mhm.
All right, now, y'all calling me out.
Like,
I appreciate it.
right? He
No,
knows
yes,
exactly who you are. So
Listen.
there's no way that he would give you that title and that helmet, that responsibility, if you weren't supposed to use it as your authentically. So, I don't know to get turned up, but I just feel like don't let the fear of moving and like sandpaper is good for wood. Wood don't know it until it's over, though. It's uncomfortable in that process, but when that paper gets peeled back, it's shined, it's new, and it's ready to go.
Mhm.
Be your sandpaper moment. And it could not, but I think it's so clear that God's put something on your heart to share with his people. And sometimes it takes us to catch a couple of thorns because there are people behind us who need to travel that same journey, but we got to make the way, and we're strong enough to do so.
This was a whole word.
A whole word. And it kind of connected to, as you were talking, Leah, I don't want to give you a nickname, but as you were talking, it literally just clicked to me like, no, this is also a divine moment. This may be God giving me a message through you, because even in the name, take up space, could be related to the answer that I'm seeking for. Child.
Come on. And let's just add, Lauren, you did not just say at the beginning of this, you were like, I haven't received the word that I'm necessarily looking for. And you could have just gotten it. Like, it was meant for us to actually have this space. Because let's be real, we were not always supposed to do IG Live. Like, this was not how it was supposed to happen, but it happened how it was supposed to happen. And in that, the people that are here were the right people that were supposed to be here so that we could feel what just happened. So, yeah, I'm having a moment. Because even what you just shared, Julia, is something that I can also, like, it speaks to me and what I'm going through as well. I'm in a different scenario, so you bless me as well.
And don't get twisted. Don't, by any means that you are supposed to let people beat up on you.
Not at all.
Well, you know that's gonna happen.
So, right. You're not supposed to let people beat up on you by any means. When we say a space you're supposed to be, sometimes, like Lauren said, Jesus didn't say, but he went in, did what he had to do, and maybe he had to come back some months later or a year later, but he went in and did what he had to do for that moment. So don't stay and feel like you need to get beat up on people at by any means necessary.
Because Jesus wasn't no punk.
No, he wasn't no punk. He wasn't
in the
no
tabernacle,
punk.
okay? And if you think
God
about
wants us to use our brains and our hearts.
Okay.
Hello?
Listen, y'all
The
just
same
think a whole word.
God of peace was the same God of war. Don't forget that.
He flooded the earth, and I keep trying to remind Bama's he's petty. One thing I love about my God, now he gonna show you better than he can tell you.
Absolutely.
Right. Whole thing out.
What?
Okay.
Well,
I'm kind of like, where do we even go from here? I mean,
challenge, girl, say the prayer, close us out, because I'm done. I can't.
Thank y'all for coming on here.
Yes, for having us.
We really do. There is a challenge for everyone on this live tonight. I feel it's just a very divine moment. I'm gonna keep saying that because it's just in my spirit to say it. I challenge everyone, and Joy, Julia, and Melinda, y'all can challenge as well if you would like. But I just challenge everyone this week to, and whatever you are owning, whether you shared it or not, to find a way to take up space in that, whatever it is. So if you have a deadline you want to meet, take up space. If there is something that you've been avoiding, allow that to take up space for you this week. I just challenge yourself to really push the answers that you are seeking. As you just saw in real time right now, I got an answer that I've been seeking on and off. I'm not going to say I've been consistently seeking the answer, but I just think this was a moment where I really did receive an answer that I needed for quite some time. So I just appreciate y'all on this live this evening. Joy, if you want to follow up with another challenge or add to it and then close us out, you may.
Absolutely. So I was sitting here thinking, you actually had said earlier when, we end up having conversations and people ask us, hey, how are you? You'd be like, oh, I'm good. I challenge everyone on here for a replay, whatever it may be, to actually answer it authentically. It may not be what you want, but let's be real. We don't have to fake it for anyone, because at the end of the day, it's our lives. And why are we sitting here trying to front for people that are never going to understand what we're going through? If anything, they could be there as an outlet. They could be just what you need to have that conversation. They could bring a smile. They can bring a laugh. But you have to be the one that actually says what's truly going on. It doesn't have to be you having a completely rough week. You could be having the best week ever. That joy can help somebody else out. So just actually share how you are authentically feeling, and it not just be something that is short and sweet just to keep the conversation moving. Because again, it's all about community, and you can't have community if you're not communicating.
Yeah, and very important communication. Yes. So before Joy closes us out, and something that she's being pushed to do, I would just like to share where you all can find the replay of this, and what to expect from Take Up Space moving forward. We are trying to get to a space where we are pre-recording things with guests. And so until that time comes, because we're trusting God with taking this humble beginning bigger and bigger and bigger, we will probably continue to use Instagram Live as our platform for Take Up Space. We are connecting this week to see what the what word am I looking for? It's not coming. How often we will do this, and what days it will be set on. But I think Sunday's a good day. Like, let's take a space on Sunday. And so, yeah, you can find a replay on my page as well as Joy's page, and maybe on YouTube in the next week. And with that, thank y'all for joining. Enjoy.
Can I get one more challenge?
Oh, go ahead.
The challenge is find out how God speaks to you, because we talk a whole bunch of God in this. Wow. But oftentimes we don't know how God speaks to us.
That's a good one.
We miss what God is saying because we are stuck on what people say, how he sounds, what he like. So I challenge everybody to find out how God speaks to you. Like, God speaks to me through my dreams. I will dream it and it will be plain as day.
Yes.
Can I add on?
Let's keep it going.
It's a dream.
I want to piggyback on that, and while you're finding out how God is speaking to you, I want somebody on here, and I don't want to get a little churchy, but somebody on here has a question that they have been trying to mill in the world, and I feel like they need to take it to God. So I encourage whoever you are, take the question to God without fear of the answer, and know that the answer is exactly
without fear of the answer. Now that's the part.
And God want to speak to you in a way that you understand. God, my homeboy, so we have little ratchet conversations a lot. So don't think he's going to
communicate the best way we can.
He's not a my child person, Sometimes.
Sorry, Corey. That part. Well, I appreciate it for engaging with us this evening. This was a great premiere episode. Just so grateful for everyone who showed up, as well as you, Joy, Julia, Melinda. Thank y'all. And once we have our first recorded episode, y'all gonna have to be guests, honey.
Yeah.
All right, Joy, I'll let you close us out.
All right. So before I actually pray, it's funny because as I was saying in my pushing myself to be authentic, I've always been like, when it comes to family and everyone, like, oh, Joy, you gonna pray. Like, you that person. Like, they know me. But based off of social media, it's like new. So this is definitely newer to me to do like a live prayer, but I'm here for it. And thank you, Lauren, for the challenge. You're welcome. Yes. All right. Can we please all bow our heads? Dear God, I just come to you today just saying thank you. Thank you for allowing for us to see a new day today, just to praise you on this beautiful Sunday that you've blessed us with after Thanksgiving, after being celebrated, after being surrounded with your family and loved ones. So I just ask that you continue to move throughout us this week as we prepare to go into our work week, back to our regular schedules. Allow for us not to forget you. Allow for us not to take up other things in front of you, to make you a priority in everything that we're doing, to make sure that we're coming to you, that we're seeking you, that we're listening to you, that we're practicing what we're praying for, and that we're not just praying for it, but we're actually doing what you were speaking to it, even if it's something that we're uncomfortable with, God. Mm-hmm. I just come to you just saying thank you for this space. Thank you for Lauren and I connecting to create a space like this. Thank you for Melinda and Julia coming on here and sharing their story. Thank you for everybody that has joined us on here, God. Yes. I just come to you and just saying, use us the best way that you can. Use us as vessels. Allow for us to fill us up. Allow for us to be here as earth as it is on heaven. You want us to make sure that we are doing our part to bring up your kingdom, mm-hmm. to make sure that we're giving you the glory and everything. Allow for us to use our gifts to be purposeful in what we're doing, but making sure that we are doing it in your timing. We're not focusing on our time, but we're focusing on your timing, God. So I just ask that you give us clarity, mm-hmm. that you give us peace, that you give us fortitude, that you allow for us to be obedient and not focus on what we think it is, but knowing what you have told us to do. So I just say all of this in your name and just saying thank you for, again, blessing us with this time just to praise you and just to, again, create the space to have fellowship and community. And I say all of this in your name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Well, thank y'all. I hope you all have a great week. Love well, be well as always. And if you haven't already, follow us so you can stay updated.
Yes, follow us.
Yes, take up space and where we go from here. So, bye.
Till next time.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.